Good morning. It's Bobby Dupre with the Bobby Dupre Show, presented to you each Thursday morning at 7 a.m. and the original replays on Saturday afternoon at 3 p.m. 2 times now. Correct. And working on a third one. We'd love to get it on Saturday also. I'm getting a few calls on the Saturday. And when I tell them Sunday, well, I think they're going to be watching, but the guys over here are looking out for us, right, Mark? Mm-hmm. Yeah, he says, okay, they're looking out for us. We want to welcome you to the Bobby Dupre Show, and of course, many of you have been listening to it for the last almost 36 years now on KSLO 1230 AM on your dial and 105.3. And 105.3 is also known as KSLO now, so they've merged the two. 105.3 is an FM station, and 1230 AM, well, 1230, KSLO 1230 is AM. We have, I think, a lot of good, interesting matters to discuss with you. And you were supposed to ask me a question. Well, I got to wait for you to stop and catch your breath for me to ask the question. By the way, I didn't finish.
You still hadn't finished.
We have the internet. Good morning to everybody watching it on your computers and iPhones and all those kind of. Let's talk about iPhones, but let's talk about this. You were going to ask me why.
Yeah, you had blended in earlier. When I came in, I couldn't see you because you blended into the woodwork behind you with your camouflage.
Yeah, and what did you recommend I do? Wear an orange.
Wear a little orange because
vest
if you're going to go out there, put at least a stripe or something because you don't want to get.
Going to do our annual cleaning up of the lanes and all the food plots and whatever for the hunters over in Winfield. I'm not a hunter, but I belong to the club, and I feel every year that I need to do something, and they appreciate that, and I get good and dirty, sweaty, and makes you feel good. Use the muscles that you generally don't.
It's good therapy.
Therapy, as Attaway Darbone would say it very eloquently. And let's see, oh yeah, and what I wanted to mention was that we've had, I'm pretty sure we've had the most cases of West Nile infections this year than any other year, and more deaths have been attributed to it, and a lot of others have been very ill, but got to a doctor in time, medical treatment in time. So I know I want to bring some
mosquito spray, some DEET. They used to call DEET because they still got that out there.
Not dip. You don't want me to dip myself the old time.
No, when you come back, we'll dip you in case you get any ticks.
Because that's what they did. The dip way back then.
Not a problem.
We used to sell that stuff at Cash Drug Wholesale.
Smiley,
I'm going to be talking about Cash Drug Wholesale a little bit later.
Smiley Anders this week, a lady wrote in. She said she saw a guy after that LSU game that was so close Saturday night was putting some holy water on his LSU cap. And she says, maybe the team needs to do that. He says, no, you'd have to dip them, he said.
Yes, sir. But I'm looking forward to it, and we have a nice group of fellas. It's a good little hunting club. They don't have to kill. They have to want to go there to have a good time. And we do pass a good time up at Winfield, Louisiana. And they in particular have met a lot of people over there, and Ray Bello will be one of them coming, Jimmy Prados. I know those two are coming to help show us where to shred. Mac Lejeune and I are going to do the shredding. And believe it or not, I will be on that tractor. Love it. Good therapy. And
Jimmy, of course, is the founder of the Cosachi Squirrel Extravaganza.
Yeah, which we've discontinued again this year. But it's not forever. It's just taking a break. Taking a break, kind of like the Yambali parade and function. Taking a little break. Maybe they can catch their second wind and come back and hold one of the oldest festivals in Louisiana. And now that I've gotten all of that, what about a couple of
I can do
sponsors?
That. Oh, it's amazing. You were reading my mind. Benny's Supermarket right here in downtown Alphalus. Go by Mr. Benny's and get all that great meats. Some of the meats already pre-seasoned, ready to go for you to put in that pot and get them rolling. They've got the best produce there as always, and that's produce and fruit as well. You know, it's good to get you some good oranges and pears and all that good stuff to go in good good salads, got all that nice, and some of it packaged individually for you to take and go, and that way you don't have to break that whole head of lettuce down already pre-mixed with that summer mix. They got that's right, well, my fingers are going today. You've got the deli there.
They're always going like
7 days a week. You can get deli food, nice plate dinners from everything from rice and gravies to potatoes. On the weekends, you can, on Fridays, you can get fish, salads there as well. And they've got little Benny Sports Chef nutritional supplemental needs. If you're working out, or you jogging or running,
losing weight,
losing a little weight. I did a little running myself this weekend, so I'm trying to get back in shape.
Good. And by the way, Mr. Benny is kind of running around,
moving around in the store a little bit.
That's the good news.
That's right.
Go get him, Mr. Benny.
That's right. And one more sponsor while I got you. How about LHC Group? All your home health care needs, LHC Group can help you with the nurses, with the therapists, with the equipment that you need, the lift chairs, the special beds, the oxygen equipment. They can do all that for you. They've got hospice care available. They've got palliative care available. They've got the Health and Wellness Center here on Heather Drive. Annapolis is always involved in all these great civic projects for us. Go by Louisiana Healthcare Group all around the nation, all about helping people.
And I mentioned last week that I was going to order that check to give to Ginger Myers.
Correct.
I have it. It's been delivered to my office, and next week we'll have to try to go by and make a visit. It's been a long time.
That's where the corporate headquarters
is. Right.
Is.
We'll set up an appointment and we'll go by and bring her, and that's for the upcoming Go Red.
Go Red to help
for women,
raise cancer awareness. For
and
women.
And then the husband, Keith Myers, he'll be working to raise money for the men, because men have breast cancer as well as women.
Sure.
Not in the numbers, it's unusual, I guess you could say, but
it does happen,
but it does occur.
Yep.
And you want to get another? No,
how about this? Music and Market is coming up this weekend, cranking up with the fall season. It's September the 28th over at the Vieux Village Farmers Market Pavilion at Vine and Landry Street. You can go see Lil Wayne and Same Old Two-Step, and of course they'll play some good Zydeco music.
We've had a few deaths that have occurred. One is Betty Arsenault Johnson. And I remember she's probably close to my age. She's 72, a few years younger than I am. And but I remembered her well. Her husband, who survives her, by the way, is Winford Johnson. Well, if you said Winford Johnson in St. Landry Parish, they probably would know. But if you say Bosco Johnson, then they would know who you're talking about. So, and I knew her daddy, Mr. Dominic Arsenault. I knew him pretty well from way back in the insurance and school cafe days.
My daddy knew all the hunting and all that back in the day as well.
Oh,
so,
yeah, he was around the hunters, and very likable person. And Bo Quirk passed away. You got the notice as soon as we got through taping the program last Wednesday. It came across that Bo had died, age 80. I had heard that he was, ill, but I had no idea that it was that bad. I did get to see his wife, Kathy. That's his second wife. His first wife was Ramona, better known as Bud Sashry, Wilda and Norma Lee's sister. And the children that he had were with Bud. And I saw Faith was there that I got to visit with briefly, and also Don, the son Don. So to the Beauquirk family, all a well-known person, worked for many years, close to 40, I suppose, over at Washington State Bank, and had an insurance agency at the same time.
Correct.
And let's get one more, and that's going to take care of our debt notices, unless I find another one in my files here. Miss Mercedes Abag Going, and she was 88, and just was going to be 88, I think, the 30th. But so we'll call it 88. It's close enough. And the family, really the one that we know the best is her son Charles, and we know Charles real well because we worked together on the fundraiser with the Cerebral Palsy Clinic here in Opelousas. And of course,
Charles is the president of the board.
Of the board, and he also has a child, Jade.
Correct.
Good morning, Jade. She watches the program. Good morning to you. And your mama passed away. And so to the family, I had planned on going this morning. I was up and at it real early before 5 o'clock today, so I was. And then when I read the time, usually they open at 8, so we'd have had time.
Right.
But the funeral home is reopening today, Wednesday, at 10 o'clock. Right. So our sympathies to the family on all these deaths.
Well, I got one other one, that Greg Dean that passed away untimely. So we just want to send, we just got that late yesterday. You and I got some information. Don't have all the details about it. I think the show's on Thursday. I think Thursday evening is going to be a remembrance service at Sabile, is what I understand. Want to send our condolences out to Tina and the whole family, the kids, the brothers. You know, everybody knows the Dean brothers, you know, attorneys for years and all here in town.
And he was too.
Unexpected, but definitely he was the life of the party.
I'm going to add just a little bit to that, and I'm glad you, because we talked about it together, you and I. In fact, you called me to tell me that he had passed. When I owned Frank's, which I owned Frank's Little Liquor Store on East Landry Street, I owned it for a number of years. And when he walked in, he had everybody smiling and laughing, and it wouldn't be unusual for him to buy a beer for everybody there. And just real friendly, just had that personality. You know, some have it and some don't.
He'd draw you to him.
Yeah,
I mean,
that's correct. And then he'd get his couple and he was going home up at, he lived in the Karen Crow area, is what he told me, and I guess that's where he was still living. So
I'd meet him from time to time for a cold drink over at Préjean's from time to time. We'd get together and talk politics and talk business. And good guy. No,
good guy. Our sympathies to the family, and to each of the families we just spoke of, by the way. Last week, when I showed a picture of Judge John Larry Vidrine from Ville Platte, spoke about his son, Greg, and Greg's wife. I named her, but I couldn't name the judge's wife, Melanie. I did a little research there, called Adelaide and Kelly, and Megan. No, Kelly. I'll get it. I said it correctly the first time. Called Adelaide and Kelly, and of course Gregory is the son of John Larry and his first wife, Kathy Ashlock. And of course, Kathy Ashlock's mama, we called the Nanan, was the godmother to Adelaide. So family goes way, way back yonder. And her Adelaide's uncle, Jules Ashlock, had one of the, I guess, biggest display of exotic animals. He was an avid hunter. Went all over the world. He only hunted for what they call trophy animals, lion, and you name it. He had killed it and had it mounted and had all of that at his home. I wonder what happened. A lot of them, you know, passed that on to museums and all of that. But lost track of Kathy, and I did see her sister Julie had returned to the Ville Platte area and was writing articles for the Bon Nouvelle, Mr. Bobby's newspaper in Ville Platte.
We'll take a 1-minute break on radio and TV. See you on the other side of 1.